morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the summer.
Yes, 1st of June. I actually didn't think of it until you said it to me a couple of moments ago.
Yeah, welcome to the summer and welcome to the wettest morning ever.
It's horrible out there.
Yeah, it's awful out there. Yeah, we're going to expect more of this across the county today. Actually, particularly heavy showers in the early parts of the afternoon. So just bear that in mind. Temperatures up around 13 or 14 degrees after such a nice weekend. But yeah, look, we'll bear and we'll grin and bear it. It is Ireland after all, and it rains here. Would you believe, Elaine, people are still surprised that it rains in Ireland?
No, it blows my mind.
I know, yeah. So it's going to be a wet day today, and yeah, temperatures around 13 or 14 degrees.
Having said that, I did come down the stairs earlier and just you do get used to nice weather. So we've had a really nice run, obviously. And I just looked out the window. I was like, what? I like, even though this was forecast for today, I just wasn't expecting it. But
I know, yeah.
yeah. How are you today?
All good, yeah. But you're right though, actually, because the last week or so, we're like when you and I get up to go to work in the morning, it's actually been nice and bright. Even if it hasn't been the sunniest of mornings, it's still bright. Whereas right now, it's just grey and blah.
Yeah.
That's the way it
You
is.
were training last night, I see.
You can see, yes, indeed, I was indeed trading last night.
If people don't know, Andrew and I drive branded cars from our sponsors on the show, Adams and Truly. We drive electric cars, and our pictures are on the side of the cars. But the last couple of, I think, Monday nights, we drove past a certain pitch, and my daughter goes, "Andrew's car's there, Mom." And I thought, Andrew's car's there. He's there. And my car had also been parked. She had training as well in Connolly Park last night. So my car was parked there. And one of my friends actually said to me, "You couldn't piss, could you? Like you just
Yeah.
couldn't ping without the whole town knowing where you are." So yeah, so training went okay.
It went well actually, but I have a funny story for you. Last Friday night, I actually parked on the opposite side of the pitch, which is actually the entrance into your estate. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I parked there. So after training, I got into my car and I was just texting my fiance to say I'm on the way home or whatever. And as I was sitting there, this guy drives past really slowly, and obviously, as you said, our pictures are on the side of the car, and he's kind of
Yeah.
staring, and he's staring, and he's staring. So I just look up at him and I just go, and he just kind of goes. It just drives off really quickly. It's like he didn't realize I was sitting in the car. He was just staring at it, and then he spotted the hand waving, and he just panicked and just drove off. It was really weird. Yeah,
I
he was
thought
like,
maybe he thought it was me because you were in my neck of the woods.
maybe he did. Maybe for a second he was looking, kind of going, "Who's your man driving my neighbour's car?" Maybe that's what he thought. But anyway, yeah, it was quite funny.
And maybe he was thinking she got the hair done. It's lovely.
Yeah. Wow,
Um,
she looks great.
Now, listen, let's have a check on what's making the front pages of the papers. I've got the Irish Daily Mail today, Andrew, and it's got a lovely picture taken at the beach yesterday. Peachy day for the beach, eating peaches on the beach. It's really nice. I actually don't know where it's taken, but it's a lovely photograph. Also on the front page, it's a run on mortgages. Property demand after the pandemic is expected to further hike house prices. It's an already tight market, but it's expected to rise even further. That's according to the Irish Daily Mail today. And the news yesterday that the PUP, the top rate of the pandemic unemployment payment, is to get cut by €50 from September. The government is expected to confirm that today, but it did seem to be pretty much set in stone as far as we can make out. So that's also on the front page of the Irish Daily Mail, and something that really does affect a lot of Irish people. It's in most Irish families, I would say, at this stage. But beat the diabetes time bomb. So many of us end up getting diabetes, particularly type 2. A lot of it is lifestyle related. So some advice there in the good health section of the Irish Daily Mail today.
In the Irish Examiner this morning, lovely picture on the front page of two horses at Áras an Uachtaráin yesterday, and the headline is "Horse on Uachtaráin." Hey.
Very good, very
Um,
good.
President Michael D. Higgins and sister sister Jean, of Kylemore Abbey, and the newly arrived pony Snowy with her foal Ivergan. The summer grazing of two Kylemore Abbey Connemara ponies at Áras an Uachtaráin is part of a conservation plan for the grounds at Áras an Uachtaráin. Now, you probably can't see it that well there, Elaine, but the photograph, Michael D. Higgins is standing with his hands behind his back, and he's kind of doing this kind of like a as he stares at the ponies. But if you were to kind of put it on a speech bubble, it's kind of like, if that horse shits on my garden, I'm going to, it's a lovely photograph there though on the front page this morning. The main story says €1 billion plan to spark rapid recovery as half of budget to go on green projects such as public transport. A €1 billion economic recovery plan is set to be unveiled today by the government in an effort to get hundreds of thousands of people back to work. And this is an awful story then. Family accused of sex abuse of 3 children. The trial of 3 men and 4 women accused of sexually abusing 3 children has heard a girl described how her parents and relatives allegedly sexually abused her, and it goes into quite a lot of detail in the Examiner there as well this morning.
Hi, I lost you there for a couple of minutes, or for 40 seconds or so.
Right,
So
okay.
I have no idea. I have no idea how that look at the papers ended. But was it good?
No, it was actually quite a bad end, actually.
Listen, yeah, no, I'm just going to put my mobile data on for a second. Oh yeah, it's on. That's okay. So that was the Irish Examiner. The front page of the Irish Sun today. Virgin teleworker stole 870k. Now I saw this and I was like, what? What's her Virgin teleworker? A woman who worked for the broadcaster Virgin Media Television. 39-year-old woman in court. She worked in payroll at the company, and she's been accused of stealing 870 grand over the space of 10 years. My God. So she's pictured with her partner on the front page today of the Irish Sun. Pippa O'Connor, everywhere yesterday, all over social media. That's because she has announced that she's pregnant. Lovely news for Pippa and her husband, Brian Ormond. But the reason that everyone's talking about Pippa is that she has spoken about sadly suffering a miscarriage as well last year. So it's important to talk about miscarriage is the headline there in the Irish Sun today. And for people, we've heard a lot about people having to travel long distances to vaccination centres. And for people who don't have cars, it's obviously a big issue for them. Well, the government is trying to sort this out. Jabs at chemist in June is the headline there. Stephen Donnelly, the health minister, is saying that pharmacies will be vaccinating people from later this month, and that's specifically for people who would have trouble getting to another vaccination hub. So that's another story in the Sun this morning.
And in the Irish Independent this morning, holidays this summer are about to get a whole lot more expensive. They're probably going to be expensive anyway if you do plan on going out foreign with the digital green cert or whatever. But now you have to add the actual price of the COVID test for your children in as well. New COVID test requirements for children over 6 will add hundreds of euro to the cost of your holiday. So if you get the PCR test, it could cost you up to 185 quid. And if you get the antigen test, it could be up to 89 quid. But again, if you have 3 or 4 children and you're planning on going away, if they're under 6, they won't need a negative test. They won't need any sort of test, actually. But if they're 6 or over, they will need a test. And I'm assuming that the parents will probably need one as well, unless they're double vaccinated. Although I suppose they probably still need a test, wouldn't they? But yeah, it's going to add up. So, considering the cost of what a holiday is going to be, flights, accommodation, all that kind of stuff, the tests are going to be added onto that then as well. And GPs get the power to use spare vaccines on younger cohorts. They've been given the authority to move down age groups to younger people when they have a surplus of COVID-19 vaccines. It emerged yesterday, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. Rather than leave them go to waste, use them. But that's in the Independent this morning.
Now, some of the top trends that we're waking to this Tuesday morning. Happy Pride Month. So it's Pride Month every June. And yet again, here we are. Pride events will mostly have to happen online. Yeah, it's really tough go because Pride is one of the most fun things you could ever go to. And that doesn't really transfer to online, but there's a lot of stuff happening. And don't tell me if you saw it, Andrew, because I still haven't seen it. Mayor of Easttown, final episode last night. A lot of people chatting about that. Okay, so there's people chatting about that. I definitely have to watch that tonight, so I'm going to try and stay away from any news about that today.
I saw Zach Braff, from Scrubs. I saw him tweet this morning, and he just said, just give Kate Winslet all the awards, and if the awards don't exist yet, just make them up and give them to her anyway. That's what he said.
She's class.
She is class, in fairness.
Yeah,
she's very good in this. I haven't seen that last episode, so no, I will, like you, will be avoiding spoilers today. Naomi Osaka is trending as well, the tennis player. She revealed, so first of all, she got a $15,000 fine because she refused to do press conferences, or a press conference after one of her matches, and she's now subsequently released a statement and has pulled out of the French Open. She said she suffered a bout of depression in 2018, and doing those press conferences actually triggers her anxiety, and as a result she's now pulled out. She's trending this morning. And Clareburn Live is also trending. Last night they looked back at more reaction to the crowds in Dublin and Cork and other places at the weekend, and they were asking the question, did Dr. Tony O'Holohan, the Chief Medical Officer, was he right to react the way he did, or was it an overreaction? And a lot of people had their say on that last night, but they discussed more. So I think they had business owners on who basically said, look, we had to come in and deal with the aftermath of the cleanup. which included human feces. That's also trending as well this morning.
Yeah, it's a tough one, I think. I mean, obviously, like pooping on the street is hardly the answer, and leaving your rubbish is hardly the answer. But I do have some sympathy for the people who are saying we're told to go outdoors, to socialize outdoors, and that's what we're doing, and there's kind of nowhere for us to go. But I think they're going to have to look into that and try and sort something out. The Naomi Osaka story is interesting, Andrew. I mean, obviously, you had to have a huge amount of sympathy for her. She said, I think you mentioned like the doing media triggers her anxiety, and obviously, worsened her situation in terms of her bouts of depression. But I can't. There isn't too many professional tennis players or any other sport or any other person in the world who really enjoys doing media after a match, particularly if you've lost a match.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I can kind of see how it has to be kind of just a rule. You're either in or you're out, and. While I have a lot of sympathy for her situation, I would say there's probably a lot of players going, "Hey, Naomi, I hate doing it as well."
Yeah. There's definitely points on both sides. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's obviously going through a tough time for that kind of thing, but at the same time, it's not like it's news to her.
No,
it's
part
a
of the
requirement
job.
for all of these. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So. And there's a lot of stuff written about her in some of the papers as well today. Come here, today's World Milk Day, and I have a bizarre milk story for you on based around Kerry this morning, which I'll tell you about on the radio in a few minutes. But a friend of mine was telling me the story last week, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to say that on the radio because it's
Okay.
mental. And I also want to tell you very quickly about an Argentinian TV news channel and a slip of the tongue that you and I can relate to, because we've had slips of the tongue on air as well before, where we've said something I kind of go, ooh, hang on, maybe that's wrong. So, but this one is particularly bonkers, but I'll tell you about that on the radio as well this morning. Mad stuff.
Good. Right. Looking forward to that. Okay, we better go. We're live in about 2 minutes' time in Radio Kerry, and we've got a busy show with lots and lots of good music on the way. If you haven't heard the Eurovision Deddy Frere song on the radio, we're going to play it today. We've got some Coldplay, some Dermot Kennedy, and some great oldies as well coming up between now and 9 o'clock this morning.
Have a good Tuesday and happy summer. Enjoy. Good luck.
Happy summer.